What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Thin Ghost back again, and I'm here today to talk about a series that I just recently found out about that I'm very much enjoying. Caught up in the entire manga series, and currently I am watching the anime, and that's a series that was talked about highly last year, and it also won the award, I think, on Crunchyroll for being the best new anime that came out that year, and that is Kimetsu No Yaiba, aka Demon Slayer. Now, I've heard a lot about this series for like the past year or so, and I know the anime looks beautiful animation. I heard a lot of great things about it. Yeah, and I'm just glad to finally be checking out this story. Now, I read through the entire manga series and caught up while I was at work. I'm a security guard, and with this whole thing been going on, this pandemic and all that, I've had a lot of extra time, even more than usual, to just sit around and relax. So I've been reading a lot, and I mean a lot of mangas, catching up on stuff, and just reading stories that I haven't even checked out. So sorry, I lit this before the video even started. I did. But anyway, so yeah, Kimetsu no Yaiba is the story of Tanjiro and Nezuko Kamado. I think that's their last name. Komodo or Kamado or something like that. Let me see, I have it written here. It's Kamado, yeah, Kamado. And they're siblings. And you know, spoiler alert by the way, but this demon, he actually attacks Tanjiro's family and kills all of his siblings and his mother. His father passed away some time before all this happened, but all of his siblings and his mother, they are killed by this demon named Muzan. And his sister, his little sister Nezuko, she's the second to the oldest, she actually gets transformed into a demon. He turns her, but she has the strength to not eat any humans. So Tanjiro actually takes it upon himself to try to find a cure for Nezuko, try to find Muzan, slay him, and figure out a way to change his sister back into a human. So that becomes the course, like the goal of the story. And you know, it's a nice plot, and I like how it's set up. Once again, I have to say the animation in this show is beautiful, but I can't really talk too much about the show. Right now I'm talking about the story overall. As far as the show goes, I've only watched the first 3 episodes, and so far I absolutely love it. It's adapting the manga way better than I actually thought. I really love the animation. Like I said, it looks beautiful, and it looks so much better than I imagined it to look. Like, I really like how they do the camera work, and like how they follow him around when he's running. Like, the 3D shots look like how they mix it with CG. Like, I really like that. And I can't wait to see how they do that with the more intense fight scenes that I've read in the manga. Just imagining what they're gonna do with some of this stuff later on in the show is just mind-boggling. But yeah, so in the manga, the thing that I really love about this story is that even though it's straightforward, there's a lot of weight to it. Like, this doesn't feel like your typical shonen, or, you know, like a story where you just have all these happy-go-lucky characters that adventure together and nothing bad ever happens to them. This is not that type of story. I mean, you do have a lot of comedic moments. You have a lot of those characters, like I said, that are playful and get you laughing, and they do a lot of the anime tropes and a lot of manga tropes and stuff like that. A lot of the over-the-top, you know, characteristics and stuff like that is there. But at the same time, I like the story because of the weight that death carries and these battles carry. Like, these fights are serious. It really goes down. Feel like anybody can die at any moment, and there are a lot of people that do die in this story. The characters, like, this whole story treats death in a very beautiful way. I like how they do it. Now, even though it is tragic, they do a really good job of making these characters kind of like live up to their goals, or at least do something before they go. Like, they literally give their all in these fights, man, and then some, and they always come to a better understanding about themselves or who they might be fighting against in these battles. That's what I really like about it. It's like, it's one of those stories where during the fights, you know, which is typical formula of a shonen, but during these fights you find out more about how these demons became demons, and you find out more about the demon slayers themselves, and if they come to terms with whatever you know, whatever demons they were facing inside themselves, or whatever troubles, whatever regrets they may have had before they ultimately pass on while they're in these fights. You know, sometimes they die and they lose, sometimes they die and they take the demons with them, sometimes they die and they give a huge huge sacrifice to be able to give the other demon slayers an edge that are fighting against the same demon. Like, they give so much in these fights, it is insane. Both sides always give like a good they always give their all when they're fighting. Like I said, man, you get to find out who these demons were at the beginning. You get to see how they were as humans, what made them ultimately turn to demons. You get to see their connections to Muzan, because Muzan is the king. He is like the father of all demons, the first demon. You see how he has influenced and changed all the major antagonists throughout the story. You see how he is pretty much like the looming presence in the background. You see how much his followers and his subordinates fear him. Characters are very interesting as well. You have Tanjiro, a very kind-hearted, loving boy that just wants to make sure that he can help people in whatever way that he can. And you have this character that he meets along the way called Zenitsu, who is this guy who is a huge scaredy cat. You look at him and you have no idea how this guy is a swordsman, but he has this cool quirk where every time I say quirk like this, Boku no Hero Academia, but he has this cool trait where when he falls asleep, that's when he becomes his true warrior self, and he just starts wrecking shit, and he uses lightning. Tanjiro, he uses a mixture of water and fire with his swordsmanship. And then you got another character that is very hilarious and likable. I love him every time that I see him. That is Inosuke, and he literally dual wields two swords that look like they have been ragged or chawed on or just like used. Like, they look very battered, but you'll see later on that he prefers his swords like that, like jagged. And he wears this helmet that is like made out of a boar that he probably killed, and he hollowed it out and he wears it like a mask. So that's a pretty, like these characters, Inosuke is very over the top and funny, and he's very manly. He likes to be the toughest one. And Zenitsu is he's the polar opposite. He's a crybaby. He always wants to leave from danger. He's always whining and crying, and kind of seems a little annoying, I'm gonna be honest, but I hope they made that a lot better in the anime. I haven't seen him yet in the anime, but hopefully a whole lot easier to deal with in the anime, because I ain't gonna lie, in the manga he get kind of annoying, even though when he fights he gets a whole lot more sass, so I will give him that. But yeah, man, I really like the main trio, and the other characters that they introduce are interesting as well. I like how Uzui is a former shinobi ninja. His attributes, his moves, his attacks, his whole getup is very interesting. I like him. I like how Ron Goku is just like the pillar of being a good guy. He's kind of like Captain America or something. This guy is so nice, so good, and he just wants to protect people, similar to Tanjiro, and he just wants to be a good pillar, the best pillar that he can be, living up to the last words of his mother, using his strength to protect people that are less fortunate. So I really like his character as well, even though it's unfortunate what ended up ultimately happening to him. So yeah, it's a lot of cool characters in Demon Slayer that help round out the series. And Muzan is also a very intimidating villain. I feel like sometimes he's a little too evil. I mean, I like some evil people, and don't get me wrong, he's cool and I like him as a villain and everything, but it just feels like sometimes he's just like fucked up for no reason, just knocking the heads off of his subjects and just obliterating them left and right. I mean, I know they're trying to do that to make him seem more badass and everything, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like the more cool, level-headed, calm, subdued villains are more my thing. Something more like Aizen. I do like Muzan for his strength, though. I mean, the guy is savage, and he provides one of the hardest, if not the hardest challenge that our heroes have to overcome. And that final fight in the manga, when everybody is just working together to try to stop him, it is just pure, just beautiful. I love Muzan just for the pure threat that he opposes in the world of Demon Slayer. But as far as like his personality and everything, he okay, But yeah, man, Demon Slayer has a lot of characters that can help you enjoy the story throughout, along with everything else like the world building, and the pillars and the 12 moons, the sword combat, how they fight, and all of that. It just comes together to in one big culmination, just to make the story just that much more enjoyable. You have other characters that are interesting. Like, man, there's a lot of demons here. They call them the 12 moons. The 12 moons are like the high-ranked demons that are directly under Muzan. You have the upper 6 moons, then the lower 6 moons. So Tanjiro, what's his name, Zenitsu and Inosuke and a lot of the other demon slayers, they have to take out all of the 12 moons and work their way up to Muzan. So you know, like I said, it's a simple layered plot, but at the same time there's a lot of other things that are attached to it. But I like how the story is kind of like small and precise, to where it's keeping everything tightened together to where it wants to tell a story with a beginning, a middle, and an end, similar to stories like, you know, Full Metal Alchemist or something like that. I really like stories like that that don't want to overstay their welcome, tell the story that they were trying to tell, and yeah, you know what I'm saying, just get straight to it, because it's like it doesn't really have that much time to beat around the bush. And yeah, it just gets raw, man. Like I said, these fights are intense and crazy. I really like how they put a lot of emphasis on breathing when they're doing the sword combat, because one thing that I absolutely love, I mentioned this in my previous YouTube channel when I made a lot of Bleach content, how I love sword combat. I love katanas, I love Bushido, you know, I love sword combat, samurais, ninjas, I love all that. So, you know, not so much ninjas, I guess, because I like Naruto, but not as much as I like other stuff. But I just really like sword combat, you know, like when people are using swords and ching 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 ching, like against each other. I love that. So when I found out that there was another major player in anime that was trying to do sword combat, and you know, that's pretty cool, man, you know, so I had to check it out. And looking at the manga, just like I said, seeing these fights and seeing everything that happens in this series, the way that they use the breathing to you know, make sure that they can fight to their full power or full capacity, move at full speed, avoid dangers, prolong their selves, their lifespan when they get badly damaged, or you know what I'm saying, it's so many different ways that they use this breathing and these breaths to help them get out of situations or to aid them in these fights. You have the different pillars. They're like the equivalent of the 12 moons. The pillars, they are the best demon slayers. They're like the creme de la creme of the demon slayers. You have the fire pillar, which is Ran Goku. You have the insect pillar, which is Shinobu. You have the sound pillar, which is Uzui. You have, you know what I'm saying, it's so, you know, you have the rock pillar, you know, it's so many different you know, like they're elements, you know, once again, standard. You see this in a lot of different stuff, but it's cool to see how these powers are implemented with these pillars, you know, how they use them with their sword skills as well, mixed with their breathing, and just these fights, how intense they can get. Like I said, at any moment, man, you see them getting limbs cut off, getting their arms cut off, getting stabbed through the bottom of their jaw, through their mouth, and they're still going, getting their legs cut off, getting stabbed through their back, through their chest, but they manage to move their heart out of the way because they know how to move their inner organs, so they live at the last second. Like, so much intense, crazy shit. I just love it. Kimetsu no Yaiba, Demon Slayer. This series is absolutely amazing. And this has just been kind of like a brief summary, kind of like a quick roundup thoughts about how, you know, what I think about the series. Just a quick little review, but I do want to go into more detail about a lot of the different arcs and chapters and stuff like that. I'm going to be reviewing the arcs individually. The series, I think it's in its final arc right now, so it shouldn't be that hard to go through these arcs again, get it wrapped up, and you know, get them like separated and get these reviews out. But I really enjoy this series, man. A video game is going to be coming out as well by Cyber Connect 2. Another one of the major reasons why I want to go ahead and check out this series, because I love Cyber Connect 2 and everything they put out, and that video game looks like it's going to be fun. Just another project they can add on their catalog, and yeah, man, it just looks like it's going to be a good game. The show, I'm enjoying it. The manga, I enjoyed it when I was catching up with it. I'm just going to reread through it again to try to look for the finer details. Yeah, man, I really love Kimetsu no Yaiba. The story right now is in a tragic situation. I don't want to spoil anything, even though I did say spoilers in the beginning. Yeah, the manga at the end, it's crazy. I really don't know what's gonna happen. It can be here nor there, man. You never really know with this story. It is intense, and it does not shy away from killing people that you like. But like I said in the beginning of this video, that's what make this series stand out to me. That's what make me really enjoy it. The fact that anybody can die, it's realistic. When people look like they're going to die or that they're dead, they are dead. There is no ass pulls. Nobody is just getting healed out of nowhere and being brought back to life. No. when they're dead, they're dead. I'm sorry, I didn't want to seem like an asshole or like I just love death, but I just like it when the stakes are high like that. So if you like Kimetsu no Yaiba, if you like Demon Slayer, please let me know what you think about this series, man. If you like it, if you read it, if you don't want to read it, I hope this video makes you want to check it out, man. And yeah, if you got anything you just want to add or tell me about the series, let me know. And I hope you're having a good day, night, wherever you are. And until next time, guys, peace.